good afternoon, students. Today we are going to have a very important session. This session is with the topic of a Tattva. It's an eye opener for a preparation for campus recruitment process for an MNCs. We have guest with us who will talk on the preparation. His name is Mr. Mandip Bakshi. He is campus lead TCS Maharashtra and Chhattisgarh region. He heads the talent acquisition group and his profile is on Nomi. He is going to discuss about the preparation to get selected into an MNCs. Do pay attention and listen carefully. With a few words of motivation. So here, sir, for you. Yes,
Am I
sir,
audible,
you are
sir?
audible.
Yeah. So you allowed me to this meeting. Thank you. And I welcome Mr. Mandeep and Ms. Ashwarya for this today's session. So we have very good association with Mandeep and Ms. Ashwarya who are helping us and our students to prepare well, to give some new knowledge about how to prepare and plan for their career. So I request all of my students to get this opportunity to learn many things, wherein Mr. Mandeep has a lot of field experience, and his experience will tell you many things in will which will help all my students in their career building. Nowadays, we are going through a very uncertain, dangerous pandemic, and we have to prepare well for our future. We cannot sit quiet and just looking here and there what is happening.
I think sir lost his connection.
I think there is some issue with this network.
Be
I think so, yes. But I think sir is back now once again.
Sir,
Yeah,
your network
Yes, sir, we can hear
is
you.
there. So the voice is breaking, sir. Please continue.
breaking.
Yes,
Yeah.
Voice was breaking. Yeah. Now
Hello?
you are audible.
Yes. So I was talking about this pandemic situation and how to prepare oneself to face the future, because the future is challenging, and this challenging future, for preparing this challenging future, we should take on challenges and go ahead. We cannot work with what we have studied in past and the routine work. We have to think innovatively. We have to think in future, and we have to think about future technologies, and we have to prepare ourselves to compact with those technologies so that we can survive in our future. And if you look at all these happenings in and around us in the science and technology, we are progressing very fast. Our missions to Mars are becoming very successful, and we can very easily plan those missions now. And a person or a man, human being, is thinking of launching many such missions in all the planets in the solar system, and they are trying to invent new things for the betterment of the humankind. So in this kind of environment, in this kind of global challenges, we are coming across many challenging technologies like artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, data analytics. So all these are a part of our engineering, and an engineering student can very easily understand these technologies and use those technologies in day-to-day uh, day-to-day knowledge or day-to-day problem-solving issues. So, future is very challenging in this in such kind that we are now talking about all this AI and machine learning, and we are trying to replicate the human brains. We are trying to replicate the human being, and that is a very uh, big task which is taken by our scientists and engineers, and therefore we are a part of it, and we are going to support all these activities, and therefore we should prepare ourselves and learn as many things as possible in this situation or in this uncertain pandemic, because we are all at home and we are not moving here and there. So we can devote our 24 hours to such kind of learning, which is very easily available. And this TCS and all other companies are helping us to come across such kind of knowledge. And therefore, I request all my students to attend the seminars, try to understand the philosophy behind our resource persons, what they're telling, why they're telling, what is the use for yourself, and accordingly you prepare yourself. That is very much necessary in this today's situation. So I thank Mr. Mandeep and Mr. Ashwarya and all TCS team for really giving a good opportunity for our students to listen to you, to share with your experiences, so that it will help their career building. And I also congratulate Mr. Arif sir for organizing all these things, events. But these are painstaking efforts, because everybody is at home and you have to coordinate everybody and orient all of them towards one goal. And that is what he is doing uh, tirelessly. And therefore, I also congratulate Arif Bookseller sir, who is training placement officer of our institute, for taking good efforts and organizing such kind of events for our students.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, Mandip, may I request you and Aishwarya to go ahead with the today's session, please?
Thank you, sir. I'm very much humbled to the description that was given for me, and of course, Aishwarya, who would be later on taking on this presentation. And of course, thank you so much, Dinkar sir. Very privileged indeed. There is a backstory to it also, because as I was listening to Arif sir, and should I say that even I was a bit surprised, whenever we hear good things about ourselves, we become always like a bit surprised that, is it? Are we actually like
No,
that?
no.
But I think, share this very small incident, because this is the kind of a bond that I have with this college. I still remember 3.5 years back when I was assuming this particular role, when I was being promoted to this particular position to also handle the campus activities for this particular state, and later on, uh, Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh also came under us. But at that time, 3.5 years back, CVPIT was one of the first two colleges that I had visited with
Yeah.
my previous boss, Kala, who is the India Talent Acquisition campus head right now. She was at that point in time
Okay.
the TCS Pune head. Arif sir knows her also. So my association with this college goes long back. I still remember Arif sir came in when I had gone there, I think the second time, and there was nothing. He had a busy time at that point in time. I had just barged in to say hi because I was there in that nearby area.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
sir invited me inside very kindly and offered me a cup of tea and stuff like that. So I still remember those things. So I have a very good and special bond with Arif. Needless to say, automatically with the students of this college. And
Yeah. Thank you.
so thank you once again,
Yeah, it's our pleasure, Mandip.
Arif, for firstly every year. I think the Tattva sessions or even the pre-campus presentation season, it doesn't get kick-started unless we have had PVIT on our lips or PVTIT on our lips. So thank you, and Dinkar sir, thank you so much. Uh, with your permission, we would start with the session.
Yeah.
And
Thank you. Yes. You can go ahead. Yeah.
yes, and along with this,
Okay.
we would start addressing the students on this call at the moment. So I think today we are joined by more than 200 students, and see some of the things or some of the ground rules also before we start with the section for the students particularly. The first ground rule is that it's going to be a very open kind of a discussion, although this WebEx format in which we are conducting this event, it does not allow the participants to unmute themselves. So the students would not be able to unmute themselves. I'm sorry about it. But at the end of the session, this is going to be a 40-45 minutes of a like PPT kind of a session, or you can say a kind of an interactive thing. So at that point in time, whosoever or whichever student would be having any questions, please feel free to ask. Okay. How do you ask? You can put up your questions maybe on the chat section. You have the chat window on the bottom right hand side. For those of you who have joined through your cell phones, just look at the bottom of your screen. You will be able to find the chat option. So you can just put up your questions on the chat section probably. Or else, maybe you can raise your hands also. If in case time allows, we'll just sort of like from here itself, me or Aishwarya will unmute you, and so that you can ask your questions, we will be able to answer your questions. And even if you are not able to answer all the questions, sometimes it does happen because in 50-20 minutes, and I think 5 o'clock you have another session as well. So we would not be extending it beyond 10-15 minutes of question answers. If in case some questions are still remaining, maybe by the end of the session, you can write it to Arif sir, those questions to Arif sir. Arif sir can send them across to me. Me and Aishwarya we will be happy to answer those questions as well. Also, there is a promise from our side. The first promise is that you guys are not going to be bored. It's as simple as that. Okay. So I know that there is something called as digital fatigue. Dinkar sir was talking about everything changing. Well, of course, yes. This is the era of business 4.0 because since time immemorial, TCS has been talking about agile, automation, intelligence, that is artificial intelligence and cloud, right? These four things, the four pillars of business 4.0. Sometimes the human species needs a jerk in order to make them realize that, okay, fine, something has started happening. And the same thing happened in terms of COVID and Business 4.0 as well. Business 4.0 has been there with us for the past 10 years. We never realized it. But only till last year when COVID actually came in and it knocked on our doors that we realized that, fine, we cannot go out anymore. What can be the alternative? Guess what was the alternative at that point in time? Your cloud, automation, agile way of working, and artificial intelligence. These four pillars of Business 4.0 came in as handy as possible. So any which ways, these things we will be elaborating more, but today's session is more of about one thing in particular, and that is your interview process. Because, and you might challenge me also that Mandeep, you're saying that this session is not going to be a boring session, but maybe, Arif sir already organizes a lot of consulting classes wherein the consultant external person comes in and he or she tells us that we need to be sitting like this or speaking like this in an interview process and so on and so forth. So why do we need your session, alag se, right? We can just go on to the 5 o'clock session and then we can just finish up our day. Well, to answer that question also, there is an interesting answer as well, okay? So these two people that you are seeing on your screens right now, Aishwarya and myself, we people have seen already collectively more than 50,000 interviews. And I tell you also why and how. TCS is the third largest employer in the nation after the Indian Navy, after the Indian Army and the Indian Railways. Okay. So being the third largest employer in the nation, the volume at which we hire is the biggest in the corporate sector, not just in this country, but one of the biggest on this planet. Some of you might have heard about Code Vita. Well, guess what? Code Vita has gotten the Guinness Book of World Record just 2 weeks back for being the biggest coding event on this planet. So when we talk about pieces, we talk volumes. Okay. So collectively, Aishwarya and my experience goes for more than 50,000 interviews in the past 2.5 to 3 years of engagement that we have had with the students and all. And that's why we can speak with all of you with an authority about the kind of mistakes your seniors have been making in the interview processes for over maybe the past 3.5 years, whatever we have observed and all. And, needless to say that statistically many students will make those mistakes once again in the interviews, but we just hope that after today's session, many of you do not make those mistakes. Who this session is for? This session is primarily for those students who are looking at cracking any of the corporate interviews, not just TCS, but then any of the other companies also. Let's say, for example, Accenture, Infosys, Capgemini. If we talk about core branches that are there on the call today, maybe L&T, maybe Mahindra, maybe Tata Motors, maybe some other organizations as well. Okay. So these points are not just limited to the mistakes or the interview points that are concerned only with a TCS interview process. but they are overall concerned with the other interviews also that you might be appearing for. Okay. It's one of our core beliefs, the core beliefs of the Tata Group, that we just do not always think about ourselves, we think about the society as well. And any which ways, I don't need to give you any more examples because everywhere in the social media nowadays, you can just see an example of it, of what the Tata Group does. This is basically what we are doing with the Tattva sessions also. Tattva session, which the session is going to take place right now when Aishwarya starts with the presentation, probably after I stop speaking. Uh, Tattva session is nothing but a collection of 7 to 8 very simply explained presentation slides. Those slides are very simple. You're not going to be finding more than 5, 6 words written on the screen. Okay. What those slides hold are the mistakes that the students make, the most dangerous mistakes that the students make during the preparation of their interview also, and also while they are appearing for the interview process. Both the phases are being covered here. So without, letting any more time, taken by me over here, I would rather pass on okay, here in the comment section, somebody is ready to be a bit louder. I'm sorry, the microphone was a bit tiny over there. But I believe so far that whatever I said, at least some part of it, everybody could make a sense of. I would rather give the floor away to Aishwarya right now. Aishwarya is the Associate Campus Lead for TCS Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, and Madhya Pradesh. She's the one who's working on the ground day in and day out, talking to students. She herself has seen more than approximately 20,000 interviews so far herself. And she's the one she's the one who will be coordinating with all of you. Probably if any of you are interested for applying for TCS, probably once this year's campus season also starts, she's the one who will be talking to probably all of you even during that time. And also her role is big. Probably some of you will also be, and majority of you, I think so, will be also interviewed by her. Okay. So without taking any more time over here, I'd like to pass on the whatever virtual microphone to Aishwarya. Aishwarya, you can start with the session. And I'm here itself. Anytime you want me to pitch in with any of the examples, any of the stories that we discuss, the kind of classic examples that happen during our campus drives and all, I'm here to pitch in. Go ahead. Thanks.
Mandeep, for giving a brief introduction and a classic introduction about the Tattva and introducing me. Of course, I'll be needing you to pitch in with the classic examples because, of course, you have seen a lot more interviews more than me, and you have a lot more experience, and you will be able to entertain with good stories for the candidates. I'll just, Mandeep, if you can just pass me the presenter access so that I can show Tattva slide. Yeah. Okay. So before I start with the Tattva session, I hope all of you are fine at home and all of you are doing good. As Mandeep already told, this is not going to be a session where we are just going to tell you what to do and what not to do. It's not going to be a boring long sessions. We're just going to tell you some basic points so that you can ignore those mistakes when you will be sitting for the companies. Just give me a session. Is my screen visible?
So far it's blank. I think it's going to be visible as far as.
Amandeep, you're not audible to me. I'm really sorry.
Okay. Am I audible to you right now?
Yes, Mandeep.
Great. I think so far it's not visible. I think it should be visible. Or probably you can just stop sharing your screen for once and then share it once again.
Yeah, I'll try doing that.
Yeah.
Is it visible now?
Yes, it is.
Okay, great. Okay. So, starting with the session, I think the slide that you're seeing on the tell me something about yourself. And with this
Okay, there appears to be some network issue, Aishwarya.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible now. Now you're audible.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Aishwarya, you're audible now. Once again, we had lost you.
Okay, I'm really sorry. Actually, I'm working with hotspot today, so that's the issue.
No problem at all. Go ahead.
Okay. So tell me something about yourself. I think with this line comes the memory that when you step into a room or when you will be stepping into a room few months down the line and you hand over the resume and the first thing that you expect from a recruiter is, okay, so go about something about yourself or tell me something which is not written in the resume. One and the same thing which recruiters ask. First of all, why this question comes into the first place is to know, first of all, yes, basically to know about yourself. Secondly, to break the ice so that they can make you comfortable and you can have that basic ice breaking and you can have a comfortable with the recruiters in the upcoming 10 to 15-minute session which you are going to have. Now, when recruiters ask you to tell me something about yourself, the first answer that you start with is telling with your name that, sir, dear sir, ma'am, my name is this and this. I have completed my 10th from this college and secured this marks, 12th from this, secured this marks, and currently I'm pursuing my engineering from this college and I'm in this, I've secured this much marks and so on. This is the basic formulation that we have used, I don't know, from ages. I think I have done it when I was in engineering. Mandeep might have seen the same formulation when he was doing his engineering. And since now also we have seen many of them following the same. Do you think that when you hand over your resume, the recruiter doesn't see that you have done your 10th from this college, 12th from this college, and you're currently pursuing your engineering or your higher education from this college and scoring this much marks? Is it the same thing that we want to hear from anyone want to hear from the candidates? The answer coming would be no here. What the person who's sitting on other side of the other side of the bench is wants to hear that what is not mentioned in the resume. For example, if someone asks me that, Aishwarya, tell me something about yourself, I might start, of course, with that, sir, dear Saramnan, my name is Aishwarya. The meaning of my name is this and this, and how this signifies with my personality. In my family, I have a mother who is a homemaker and a father who works in a principal organization, in a government organization. Since he works in a government organization, we have been moving around a lot, and due to which comes the strength, comes the ability of my being flexible and adaptable in nature. And I have been moving around, and I have seen a lot of situations, and which helps me to deal with the situations on the ground. And in this way, I have mentioned one of my skill when I was introducing myself. I have mentioned one of my strengths when I was introducing myself. I have told them which was not mentioned in my resume. That is from where I have completed my 10th, 12th. It gives you the ground to have the control, how you want to introduce yourself and what are the points you want them to discuss about you. Because this is the first time you are, you're going to interact with the recruiter. And the ball is completely in your court that you are going to tell these points and from these points they are going to start with the conversation. So why not, the ball is in your court, why not make it a hit one? Why not give those strong points where you know that when you're going to take it ahead, it's going to be completely in your court. So if you ask me or Mandeep as a recruiter that when someone asks you, tell me something about yourself, please do not go ahead with the basic formulation that you have seen from the ages, that whenever you hear from your seniors, whenever you interact, that this is the basic, do not go ahead with that. Introduce yourself in the way that you are. Try to mention more and more strengths of yours, the work that you have done, maybe a source of inspirations that you might be, you might like to do something and you get inspired or you have taken your engineering due to the inspiration of this person, so that they can get a better understanding of who you are as a person and whom they're interacting with. Mandeep, is there something that you might want to add here?
No, only one thing to add here, Aishwarya has covered everything. It's just that, Aishwarya, even we know that the students spend the maximum amount of time preparing the answers to this question. Yeah, and this question is nowadays, it is not that important. So let's not spend too much time. As a student, I would not want to spend too much of a time preparing the answer only to this question while I'm preparing for the interview processes. Probably something minimum that Aishwarya just gave as an example. that who you actually are as a person, not something that is written in the resume, but something who you actually are. The companies are more of interested to know that, right? So yeah, so this particular point, this particular phrase, tell me something about yourself, is no more important in the interviews. And even if they ask it, try to be genuine. Do not try to repeat all the things that are written in your resume. Move ahead, Aishwarya.
So much. And I saw someone writing in chat that they're not able to see the PPT. So there is nothing more on PPT. Whatever is the one-liner PPT. It's not something that is completely written with a full of points. So you can ignore that. You can just hear the line that I'm saying. Okay, coming to the second slide. Okay, so the second slide that is here is, what do you know about the company? As Mandeep told, that most of us, whenever your TPO comes and tells that this company is coming, we spend our 80% of the time starting with the question of how tell me something about yourself, and we spend the 20% of time to know about the company. Whereas the ratio should be reversed, if someone asks me very honestly. Why? Because you know yourself, you can define yourself. But when it comes, and when we talk about as a recruiter, you might want to understand that they want to know that how much you know about the company and how much you're sincere about the company. So if some candidate comes in front of me and I tell them that, dear so-and-so, please tell me that what do you know about TCS? The candidate comes up with the same line that Wikipedia states on the top. Those 5 lines that the TCS is a multinational company. It is the highest recruiter. It is present pan-India. It's present across the globe. It is present these and these locations. We know about this from the Wikipedia. We are working in the TCS. We know about this. What we want to understand is that why are you interested in working in the company? Since you said it is your dream company. That's the common line that I think me and Mandeep are hearing from ages. Since the time I've started, this is, anytime I ask candidate that why do you want to work for TCS, the first line we hear is it's a dream company. But when we tell them that define why it is your dream company, again those 5 Wikipedia lines comes to us. The point, basic point line being here is that if you are dreaming about a company, if you are saying that it's your dream company, there might be something more than the basic 5 lines that everyone knows about TCS. There might be some projects, there might be something that might have inspired you and make this company desirable to you. So rather than spending 80% of your time on telling me something about yourself, you might want to work a lot about what do you know about the company. And this is one area, I think, if you ask me or anyone that what is one source, genuine source where companies brand themselves, it will be their websites. So you might, for any company, it's not about TCS. If you're applying for any other MNC or you're applying for any company, just open their website, check all the pages. You might want to go take 1 or 2 hours, check the pages, what they have done in the past, what are the areas you are interested in that area, what those companies have done. And you might want to link yourself that this is the area I've worked, this is the area this company is working, and this is why I'm interested in company. And in this way, you will be able to justify your candidature to the person who's sitting on that side of the branch. It will be showing that you have done your homework, you know what you want to do in this company, or what you want to achieve going ahead. So, that is what the point will be, that whenever any company is coming or whenever you're sitting for the process, please ensure that you're doing your homework very properly about the company. You're taking your own time, maybe a day or 2 ahead, and you research everything, that what the company is all about, who are the persons, what are the projects they're taking in, and how are they aligning it with your profile so that you can justify the same. Mandeep, any points to add here?
No, Aishwarya, nothing to be added from my side. You go ahead.
Okay, so coming to the third slide, and the third slide says, know your resume and be proud of the content. So as I told it, whenever any company will be coming and whenever your TPOs will be telling that the company is coming, what we will do for the first step is start preparing our resume. We will sit in front of our laptops or desktops We'll open that Microsoft page. We'll lie down the basics, name, DOB, and everything. And then when it starts coming to tell about your skills, tell about the projects, tell what you know, tell about the technologies, most of us or many of us, what we do is we go to the Google, search for resume, example of resumes, example of this technology resume, and we download the template and we start copying from there. Or we take help of our seniors' resumes or our friends' resumes who have already been applying to other companies, and we copy their resume to our resume, and then we just take a print and we share it, the same with the recruiter. Now, what's wrong in this entire thing is that this resume is not yours. It might look visibly very good. It might be the one that might be working for your friends because it's their resume. The technologies that they might have mentioned, the skills that they might have mentioned, soft skills or any skills that they might have mentioned, it is their strength. And when you're just copying it, it might work for them but not for you because you are not that person. What is needed here is that whenever we are saying know your resume and be proud of the content, it should highlight what you are, what you know, and how much strong you are in it. So let's say that Aishwarya is a candidate who is going for the process. She has written in her resume that she is aware of C, C++, Java, and Python. She written that, and when she goes and hand over the resume to the person starts asking about her. And then when the interaction keeps on going, she just stops somewhere in Java. She has no understanding about Python. Why she mentioned Python then? The reason she mentioned Python is because her friend mentioned Python and it somehow landed her the job. So she thought that since that resume was working for her, it will work for her as well. So whenever we are talking about it, whenever you are preparing a resume, be very sure that whatever you are writing in resume, you know that very well, because these, as far as the technologies are concerned, the recruiters, they will be seeing the same part, the person, he will be seeing the same part, and on the basis of a description that you know this language, they will be asking you questions. You would not like to lie there and tell that you are aware of the Python, you are aware of the Java, and then when they start asking, maybe after one or two questions, which are the basics, which you might have read from the you might have read from the Wikipedia that Java is this independent language. These are these and these. These are the basics. But once they start digging into the projects and other things, you feel yourself lost because you have not worked there. You have not a deep knowledge of it. Rather than doing that, whatever you know, even if it's C, C++, even if it's the basics, you might want to highlight it that you know this language this up to this depth. You want to highlight that so that they can ask you, they know that these are the questions they are looking forward in this candidate, and the candidate is well aware of the technology he or she is working in, and given the chance in the future when they will be mentored for other technologies, they will be able to grasp the same because they have that grasping power. So please, whatever you are writing in resume, whether it is your skills, whether it is your soft skills, if I'm talking about even if the soft skills part, and if same example, that if you have copied it from the Google, let's say that if you have copied it from the Google, or if you have taken the example of a seniors, you have copied it from there, they mentioned that flexibility is a soft skill that they have, or multitasking is a strength that they have. If the recruiter asks you to give me one example of multitasking or give me one example of adaptability, you might not have anything because you might have a different skill strength rather than what your friend has or rather than what the Google resume has. So whatever you are writing in your resume in terms of your soft skills, please ensure you have examples for that so that you can highlight it. These are the strengths, these are the things where things were going wrong, and I used my skill set and I was able to manage the situation on the ground. So this is the third slide that is all about that. Know your resume and be proud of the content, because if you're knowing it, you will be able to portray it very confidently in front of the recruiter who is sitting rather than just bumbling the birds. Moving ahead, the fourth slide is that what's happening around. This slide, I think when you will read it, it will be sounding it to you like we should be knowing about that what's happening around in general that we should be reading newspapers and we should be knowing that what's happening in the general knowledge area. That is one point in which you can see, but that's not the necessary one. When I'm saying that what's happening around when we're saying what's happening around, it means that you should be aware that what's happening around in the area in which you are interested in the area in which you are highlighting that you want to work for. So taking my example once again, let's say Aishwarya says that she is the one who is interested in IoT and is doing some certifications in IoT. So she should be knowing that if she's sitting for a company, she should be knowing that what's going around, rather than just what's going around and how that company has worked in the area of IoT, if they have worked on, what are the projects they are working in. They should not, when we say define IoT, they just come up with this basic line of three Wikipedia lines that it's about connecting devices connecting devices wirelessly. All of us know that. But what you should be knowing about is that what are the problems that is there in the area that you're interested to work in? What are the solutions that you can work in? What are the solutions that the people are working on, and how we can work on that, and what can be the alternative solution? So when we're talking about what's happening around, it's all about that whatever you are interested in. It's not only about the technology. Let's say if you're interested in photography as a passion, or if you're interested in photography as a hobby or cooking as a hobby, you might want to know about it, what's happening in that area as well, because it's all about being aware of the interest, about being aware of the technologies that you know about. So ensure that whenever you are going for the interview process, you know that whatever is happening around, at least in the area that you're interested in, you are aware of it, and you can talk about it to the recruiters, which will show that you're well aware of the happening around and you are up to date. Mandeep, anything that you might want to add? Okay, I think there's some issue. I'll just go ahead then. The next slide is communication is equal to English. Now, when I say communication equal to English, I think this is the basic that, all of us think that communication and English are the same thing. But let me make this very clear that communication and English are two different things. And let me tell you how. I think most of us have played the game of dumb charades when we were in the good old times and we were in the college. We might have played the game of dumb charades. In dumb charades, when we play, there are two different teams, and we give the name of the movie or something to the other, and they act, and the other team guesses it. This is the communication, right? You just showed the signal, and the other people were able to guess the same. You have communicated your thoughts. So here you have not used any medium for communicating your thoughts. So communication is basically, if I have to define it, communication is basically expressing your thoughts to the other person. English is a medium of a communication. Both communication and English are two different things. What we need to work on as a candidate is communication part. First of all, whatever we have, the thought process in our mind, that needs to be communicated properly to the person who's sitting on the other side of the bench. Reason being that this is what matters. Your thought process might be very different from the one candidate who came just before you. You might be having a different solution of the same problem that the other candidate gave. And that solution is ultimately what matters. That how you think, how you take the problem ahead, and how is your problem solving skills. English, again, it's just a medium. Is it important? Yes. Unfortunately, yes. With the era that we have moved on, and with the MNCs, if I talk about TCS only, we do have clients who are present across the globe, and English is one of the medium that we might be able to express our thoughts with. But having said that, do we need another Shashi Tharoor here? The answer would be no. We do not want anyone coming and saying big words and fluent English all around. We might want to be looking with a candidate who is able to express his or her thoughts using the basic medium of English and expressing it so that the thought process that whatever you have is very clear to the person who is on the other side, maybe your client, maybe your friend, anyone. So both the things are different. If since we have been taking the session, and I know this question will be coming, that how to improve English, or you might not have the hold of it as of now. The three things that works like wonders for improving English is the basic of reading and listening and speaking. Maybe take a 30-minute time of your life. For 10 minutes, watch some English news, maybe a small stand-up comedy which is entirely in English. Just for 10 minutes every day, please listen it. Maybe some series, anything that interests you. Take 10 minutes of time, listen it. For 10 minutes, speak with your friend. Call them and speak about anything that what you have done, but only use English. Do not use Hindi at all. And then ultimately speaking it, listening it, and hello, am I audible?
Yes, Aishwarya, you are audible.
Sorry, I'm really sorry. I think again some connection issue. So as I was saying, hear it for 10 minutes, speak it, and this will help you a lot. You'll see the improvement in upcoming 1 or 2 months, that you will be able to communicate in a better way. So these are the few points that you might want to consider when it comes to communication and English. These two again are the different things. The thought process that is completely yours and that is completely different from the others, that matters the most. You should be able to just communicate your thought process to the other person. English is just a medium, and even though it has been hyped that you need to have the fluent flow of English, it's not the truth. Most of the companies, trust me, they are looking for a candidate with the basics where you can just express yourself, your thoughts very clearly to the other person. Moving ahead, the next slide is about grooming etiquettes and dress code. So I think this is a time I'm talking about, maybe 1.5 year back, before the COVID era, that whenever the companies used to start coming, maybe somewhere in your 5th semester, around 4th or 5th semester, there used to be classes in our college where we used to sit, and there used to be a personality class where the person used to tell us that these are the basic etiquettes that you need to follow when you're appearing for the company. You need to hand over your resume like this. You need to keep your hands like this. You need to first ask them to sit, and like this, there will be so many rules that might be told to you, and you keep jotting it down. On the day of the interview, what happens is you keep your resume ready, you keep your file ready, and then you go through those points before entering in the room. What happens that when you enter into the room, there is a lot of confusion. That was I supposed to do like this? What I supposed to do like that? Oh no, I have done like this and I was not supposed to do like that. And that all of that confusion just makes you confused. It makes you much more confused, and you lost the track at what the other person is saying, because a lot of things are running in your mind. When we talk about grooming etiquette, dress code, there is no particular, and it's not only about TCS, it's about any company. There is no particular rule there's no rule book, there is no particular rule. There is nowhere written that the boys, whenever they are coming, they need to come with their ties and the blazers, and the hair should be coiled and it should be in this direction. There is nothing written like that. Yes, there is a basic fashion sense, which I think, a basic common sense, which I think all of us are aware of. That the fashion sense for whenever you're appearing for something formal will be different as compared to when you're appearing for something casual. So whenever you're coming for the interview process, you won't be coming in a t-shirt and in a gel hyped hairs and with a chain and everything. You will be coming in a formal etiquette. You will be coming in your formal wear, which might be having your basic shirt, pants, and a belt, and the basics will be there. Similarly for girls, there is nowhere written that you have to come in your sari or you have to come in your shalwar kurti. Whatever you deem fit whatever you deem is fit for the professional, you might want to wear that. Whatever makes you confident is what going to work. Because if you're feeling confident, if you're comfortable in whatever you're wearing and whatever you're doing on that day, it will give you much more confidence. Rather than thinking about 10 points, which you might have heard somewhere, and you're keeping them running and you're losing a track at what is happening just across your table. So again, repeating it, there are no rule books, there are no rules that you have to follow. There is nothing that you have to, go by the book. All that matters is that whenever you are appearing for the company, you have to be deemed fit. It has to look professional, which again means that which comes with the basic common sense. You won't be sitting in front of the interviewer with keeping your legs crossed. You know that already. So that is already there in your mind. So just follow the basics and do not go ahead with any number of things which will keep you confusing. It doesn't matter to anyone who's sitting on that side of the table that how you look at on the day of your interview. It matters that how much you know, how hard you have prepared. That's what it will matter, and how your thought process is. So if someone is coming with everything fancy and he or she doesn't know about this, about what they have written in their resume, what is happening around, trust me, that it's not going to happen that they are going to get selected just because on the way they are looking. So that's the basic line here, and I'll be moving ahead. And the last slide, it's all about your branding. It just sums up what I have spoken about in the last 20 to 25 or 30 minutes, that it's all about your branding, the way you are branding yourself from the moment you have entered into your room, the moment you have described yourself, the projects you have taken, the way you know about things. You have a different story from the other person who has entered in before you or who might be entering after you. But the way you are going to express your story, the way you are going to tell the person what you have done, how you have achieved those things, is going to make your brand. If you want a company wants you as well. But for both the things, you want the company because you know it's a brand, you know how they have done things, how they have achieved things. Now it's your time to show them that how you fit into the picture and how your brand is going to help their brand to rise up further in the upcoming scenario. So please, whenever you are, this is something that you might want to do in your personal life as well. It's completely about how you're branding yourself as a person to anyone. It's going to make your entire persona. Mandeep, any points that you might want to add here?
Nothing as such, Aishwarya. All the points are properly covered. So I think we can start taking the questions right now.
Sure, I'll just stop sharing the screen.
Yeah, and I think because there is less amount of time also, because Arif sir had told me earlier that I think at 5 o'clock the students have another session or something.
Yeah,
So Arif
training
sir,
session was arranged,
yeah.
but no problem. We can have some 5-10 minutes, not a problem.
Okay, great. Then we can maybe go ahead with the questions. Okay. So Aishwarya, will just go quickly with like 10 minutes of a question and answer session only, not maybe more than that. And probably I'll just tell you the questions and we can look at answering. So there is one student, Pratiksha, she has put up a question. If somebody is preparing for government examinations and if he or she says that he or she wants to do a job in MNC only for plan B or a backup plan, then what should be the impact on the interview?
If I am the interviewer, as per this thing, it would be that it's good that you have a plan. Even if we talk about an interview process today, we ask that if this doesn't happen, what is your backup plan? And it's good to have a backup plan. That's the practical approach that we should be having for anything that we are doing in our life. If you're applying for a government job, you might want to tell the person that this is your primary focus. But since if this doesn't happen, there is supposed to be something that needs to be there so that you can keep going in your life. And then once maybe let's say if you join MNC, you might want to go ahead again, give the exam, and you will keep trying about it. So I think someone asks me, being honest is the way that you might want to go ahead. You might want to tell them the reason also behind it so that it can sound plausible.
Yes, I think, Aishwarya, just one more point also what to be added, because I think this is important for the students to know that as well. See, guys, very simple. If me and Aishwarya are not the panelists, let's say we are not taking your interview. For example, you are the interviewer, okay? And if somebody comes to you and tell you that, sir or ma'am, I don't want to sit for this interview. It's just that I'm just sitting because I'm planning or preparing for something else, and it's just another plan B. Now, don't follow this approach. What Aishwarya has said is perfectly correct. You need to be honest with your answers. Okay, if in case you're planning for something, you can tell them that I'm planning to prepare for maybe UPSC or whatever, and that corporate also the interview I'm giving for an example, and also because maybe I need a job or something like that. But then over here, you need to keep in mind about one thing. Companies are not here to take your interviews just for a charity purpose. We are spending our money, okay? Just so to say, just an example that this session that we are conducting, right? I'm giving you the simplest of examples so that you can understand. Even for this session that we are conducting, money is getting spent from the company's budget, okay? The outreach program that we are doing. Similarly, every interview that happens, the company spends money on every interview. And at the end of the day, we guys are business people. If in case you're coming to us and you're telling us that I'm just sitting over here just for another practice, do you really think that we will give you an offer letter also? No. Why would I give you an offer letter? I would not, because I know that tomorrow this person is going to come and never even going to join me. Why should I waste my time? Why should I waste my money? Why should I waste my effort, my team's effort, and take the candidate in who doesn't even want to join the company? Okay. So from Aishwarya's answer, what you can take as a thin, fine line of answer is that what Aishwarya said is correct. You need to be totally honest with the interviewer, but then at a point in time, also introspect before the interview that actually do you want to sit for this job? If you do not want to sit for this job, why to even take the interview in the first place? Correct? So do not do that. And once again, one last point. Once you are taking the interview, please always note that we are going ahead with your interview and we are not asking the other kid to come for the interview process. That is, you're taking one spot. That spot could have gone to somebody who would have wanted really very badly to get into a job. Okay. So please only take these interviews whenever you are sure about it. And as Aishwarya said, be very, upfront, not just that, be very honest with your answers as well. So yeah, Aishwarya, I'll read out the second question also to you. Okay, let's take this one. I tell you what. What are the thoughts about IT companies like TCS about mechanical engineers while interviewing? So the student wants to ask that what might a TCS interviewer be thinking while interviewing a mechanical or let's say an electrical engineer student also? Yeah, Aishwarya, you can go ahead.
For those who do not know, let me tell you, Mandeep himself is a mechanical engineer. And when he appeared for interview, me as a person appeared for interview, there was no difference. The line of questioning was same. When you're coming from a mechanical background, we do know that you are coming from a background which is a non-CSIT background. And when you say that you might have prepared something about, you have just started with your courses of C++, we ensure that we focus on that area and we do not expect you to know about a lot of things. But what we are looking here is that whatever you are saying, have you done that? Are you prepared for it? When you're saying you're preparing for basics, you've prepared basics, have you done that? It should not be that you say that I have just started preparing for C and then you just know the definition of C and maybe a basic 1-2 points that you have Googled from the Wikipedia, what are the questions that can come on C, and then you just stop there. If you're saying that you're looking forward to make your career here, again, you in this company or in any other company, anywhere, if you're saying that you have done something, be sure that you have done that part and you are able to answer the same. And if I talk about particularly about TCS, there are different streams in TCS. It's not just that we are hiring only for the IT or CS projects. We do require mechanical engineers for other projects where their skills can be used. So that's the baseline.
Thanks, Ashwarya. Maybe one last question, or maybe a couple of more questions because Arif sir said 10 more
Yeah, we can
minutes.
go ahead. No problem.
Sure, sure, Arif sir. Okay, one interesting question, Ashwarya. And any which ways, we have got this question a lot of times. It may not be new to us, but still, how to answer the question, why should we hire you?
Had this been an open stage, I would ask the candidate that he or she should be answering with this question. The reason is why should we hire you is the question, reason. That's all about that how you have branded yourself or what you want. Again, the same thing that Mandeep told, that if you want to be there, you know that why should we hire you. These are your aspirations are the one that will be telling us that why should we hire you. If you come and tell me that you want TCS is your dream company, and then you tell me that TCS is an MNC who has 4.5 lakh employees and this is present this and this, and that's all you know about TCS. And if I talk about the technologies, you give me the basic answers. I know that this is something that you might have just prepared last night and you just are using it as an option. And that's where the interview process will stop for you. Why should we hire you for TCS is your inspiration, your motivation, that why do you want to work for the company? Do you want to work for the company? If yes, then what is the reason behind it? What are your interest areas that will help us to understand that how you are going to bring a value to our company?
Okay. Can chemical engineers, wait, am I audible?
Yes, Mandeep, yes, now you are.
Great. Great. Another question, can chemical engineers work in TCS? Well, of course, yes. Everybody can apply. Everybody can work. That's what the ninja process is like. Just give me one more second. Okay, now here, Aishwarya, I think it's more of related to a question wherein it is asked by another Aishwarya only. She asks, when we are not from IT or CS branch, and we are not able to give all the technical answers, will they hire us?
I think, yes, I think I've answered this question, and I'll just repeat the same. That whenever anyone who is coming from the non-core branch, whether it is mechanical, electrical, chemical, anyone, and whenever they show a resume, the panelists, trust me, on the other side knows that they're coming from the non-core branches, and they take that into consideration. They won't be coming and asking to you the questions that you have not mentioned in your resume. But having said that, whatever you have mentioned in your resume, if you say that you have started working with these languages and you have done these and these courses, or you're taking these and these YouTube courses, you should be aware of the same. Whatever you have mentioned, please ensure that you do not go ahead and mention n number of things in your resume which you're not aware of or which you have just learned for the process of interview a day before. You mention whatever you're comfortable with, whatever you know in length and breadth.
Okay. I think one last question. After that, we are sort of done, right? So some more questions are also coming in, but then I'll just choose one selective one. Just give me a second. Okay, another question. Nikita has asked, I think Aishwarya has some network issue, so doesn't really matter. I'll go ahead any which way. So Aishwarya, am I audible to you?
Yes, Mandeep, now you are.
Great, great. Okay. So another question Nikita has asked, I am from ENTC branch. If I want to apply to TCS, which skills do I require? So yeah, you can go ahead. Okay, so
your voice was not audible. Have you taken the question of Nikita?
Yes. I am from ENTC branch. I want to apply to
I am from ENTC branch.
Skills do I require?
So for applying in TCS, there is no particular criteria or this in terms of skill that you require. The eligibility criteria, if you're fitting into the same, you can apply for the TCS. If I talk about the Code Vita or the other competitive selective hiring, in that, even though you do not have those criteria as well, if you have the passion for and you can do it even though you are from other branches. It won't stop you in coming in TCS. That's where we have come from for NQT. We have opened the platform to all the candidates for all the branches for whomsoever who are interested in joining TCS.
Great. I think we are done, and there are still 2 minutes to go to it being 5:10. So, Arif sir, Aishwarya, and I are done. Over to you. Thank you.
Mandip, I'm very much thankful to you and Aishwarya for sparing out your time and scheduling a specific Tattva program session to PVPIT and my students. And they are lucky enough to have the first session with the TCS. In fact, you are the first to interact with them, and I hope this will benefit them for their preparation. In fact, I was conducting some small sessions for them and giving them some hints to start the preparation, because this process will start in maybe June onwards, and then it's a high time that they should be very much serious and take up this preparation process and prepare themselves to become an expert, so that they can be ready to contribute to the companies wherein they join in. Okay, so I thank you very much once again, Mandip. So it was and always and what I can say, support for me, and you never said no whenever I just requested to you, and so does your team. And Aishwarya, she has been also interacting with me quite back, but since because of this pandemic situation, I pray for everybody's health, and do take care. And with these words, I think I would say that this session is uh, at the end. And not the least, I thank my all TPCs, training placement coordinators, and students who have participated here. And I hope they will have a better future in this situation as well, and they will take all your hints and the thing what you have discussed with them, and will move ahead. Thank you, Mandir.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. And all the best to all the students. Just before we leave, some questions that I was seeing regarding what the preparation should be. Just one thing for all the students: if you're from chemical, mechanical, electrical, that's okay. If you're interested for an IT career, pick up any language, be it C, C++, Java, Perl, Python, Ruby, anything, and be not amazing at it, be good at it. Even if you're good at it, that would do. That's it. Thank you so much, sir. We'll take your leave then. Thank you. Take
Mandir.
care.
Yeah.
Thanks, Aishwarya. Bye.
Bye.
So,
Thank you.
thank you everyone. All the best.